record, so you'll hear that little. Okay, please continue. Thanks, Seth. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're not interrupting me at all, Ginger. To repeat all of that again, GT County, I think everyone might have seen in the paper, announced their committee that is going to help the public sector consultants make some of these decisions. So I think that Dave had highlighted previously, right, his excitement around there going to be some community aspect to this. And so the committee of 10 that will be 11 was announced, of different sectors, of different individuals representing different sectors that are kind of going to come around this table. Tony was graciously chosen, I guess that's the word we're using, Tony graciously, to represent housing. I was chosen for childcare. Some of our good friends like Sakura with Rotary Charities was selected to represent philanthropy. So really excited to see that. Our first meeting is coming up in the first week of February. So it's just good to see, that we're going to have some good community input into how GT County spends those dollars, but more to come on that.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. Any questions for Seth or Tony? Tony, do you have anything to add?
No, I do believe, as I've said on this call or this meeting many times, I think our efforts, at least mine on this committee, regardless of whether the county ever funds anything we want to fund, is to make sure that we're all represented, so that should there be state resources available, we want our county and our region to access those dollars. So the prioritization of what we want is important, regardless of what the county decides to vote to fund. And I think so don't be shy to keep getting our message across, because it needs to be heard and recorded.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. Okay, questions? Other thoughts? All right, wonderful. And I see that Dave is on. Hello, good morning, Dave. We'll go ahead and toss it over to you to give us an update on the roundtable with Governor Whitmer.
Yeah, 17 representatives from the mental health community met last Friday morning with Governor Whitmer. And I thought it was just excellent. We'd asked the invitees beforehand to provide input on what their number one priority is for addressing mental health challenges that we're facing in Northern Michigan. And so we had a chance to kind of go around and each person to talk a little bit about their perspective. At the end, Governor Whitmer asked us to provide answers to two questions. One was one priority that we thought should be funded on a one-time basis, and one priority on mental health that would be a priority for sustained funding over time. And I think what she was alluding to is, the state obviously is getting all of these ARPA dollars. And then the revenue estimates for the state budget keep going up. And so the state's got several $billions in surplus beyond what they expected as they enter the annual budgeting process. And then there's the physical infrastructure bill, the Infrastructure Jobs Act, and the state of Michigan over the next couple of years is going to get another $5 billion from that. So, the way I interpreted her invitation was that as she's starting to think about what her priorities are when she develops a state budget, and what she advocates for with the legislature, going forward this year, that she'd like to know what are our behavioral health and mental health priorities for this part of the state. So Ginger and Carol Greilich are going to host a meeting at 9 with people that participated in that. And of course, if people have ideas on what they think are the priorities, they ought to provide those to Ginger and to Carol. I think there's a developing consensus, in my opinion, around some kind of mental health crisis center in our area, so that people, that are experiencing mental health crisis don't either have to go downstate or spend sometimes days in the emergency room. because there's not enough beds. So anyway, I think it's a unique opportunity. I don't know, is Haley on today?
Oh,
No.
you know what? Haley may be coming on for the 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I talked to Haley about this day before yesterday, she said that she'd really like to get those recommendations to the governor as soon as possible. In fact, when the governor was leaving our meeting last Friday, she reiterated to Haley again that was really important to her. So get those to her ASAP. So anyway, it's, I think, a tremendous opportunity on one of our 3 priority areas for the Northwest Michigan Community Development Coalition. And so hopefully we can kind of narrow down our priorities to 2 things that we have a consensus on and share those with Haley. Anything more on that, Ginger, Carol, or anybody that participated in that conversation?
Just as a quick follow-up, I think what we're hoping to be able to do is to identify, like, maybe she asked 2 questions. She wanted to know what, if we had one-time funding, what would our top priority be for that one-time funding? And then the second question is, if we had sustained funding, what would our top priority be for sustained funding? So this group is going to get together, I think maybe, as I see it, come up with kind of a top list of what we think would qualify for each, and then maybe do a quick survey. And this is a great chance to really get a lot of community input. So expect to see some, if the group agrees, we'll expect to see a quick survey, but it's going to be a fast turnaround time just to confirm what we think might, are the top priorities. Carol, anything else on that? Okay. Yeah. So that's, I think that's the game plan. So stay tuned for that, because we definitely want to hear your input. If you have other input, feel free to email me really anytime this weekend, or, but hopefully even yet today, because we're, again, like Dave said, we're under a tight time frame on this one. Any questions? Other thoughts? Okay, Dave, we're going to pass it back to you for a legislative update.
Yeah, I don't have really a lot of new information. I think I reported the last time we were together that we've entered into a contract with public sector consultants to help us identify priorities across our 5-county region for potential funding from ARPA, the Jobs and Infrastructure Bill, or from just through the state budget. And so public sector has just been in the process of collecting all of the names and contact information from business, government, nonprofit sectors that they will reach out to. And then we're also going to do kind of a communications blast from the 4 sponsors of this, Rotary Charities, the Community Foundation, Travis Connect, and Networks Northwest, to kind of a very broad group, inviting people to suggest and submit priorities. We're going to have some kind of a online platform with very simple form that people can fill in, saying, here's where we think the priorities are for our region. And it could be anything from infrastructure to mental health to attainable housing to economic development to environmental projects. So and then once we have kind of identified what are the key priorities, then public sector would help us match up various funding streams coming out of those the various laws that I mentioned, based on eligibility, sustainability, number of other kind of screening criteria. So just kind of in the process right now of putting together I think the online outreach to the region, and also the list of people that we want to specifically ensure have an opportunity to kind of weigh in, including all the local units of government. Matt McCauley's been reaching out to county representatives just to give them a heads up that we're going to be contacting them. And one of the reasons that's important is the counties are among the largest recipients of ARPA dollars that flow directly to local units of government. We want to make sure that they know that we're going to put this effort together. and try to maximize the amount of state funding that's coming to Northwest Lower Michigan from these laws. How that's all going to work out, I think, remains to be seen. But, you know, as I said last time, you know, it's better than doing nothing. It's kind of a grand experiment. But I think it's a much more strategic way about going after these dollars and, you know, ensuring that we get our fair share than simply working at this, you know, in silos, in separate sectors or even individual organizations. So, yeah, so I'm guardedly optimistic that process can work out. So stay tuned. We're still kind of in the, I say, the organizational stage here, and so more to come. I don't have any scoop on kind of what the state of Michigan, the legislature, is going to do on how they're going to go about appropriating these funds. We had that, what is it called? The Regional Chamber Alliance Policy conference last Friday that some of the folks on this call were attending. And I actually asked Jim Stamas, he's the state senator that chairs the Senate Appropriations Committee, have they agreed with the House on a process for appropriating ARPA dollars? And he was rather elusive about it. I think they're having discussions about exactly how they want to go about spending this money. But I don't think they're ready to talk about it publicly yet. So I think we'll see. We have some things are coming up. The legislature came back into session last week, but just very briefly, I think in part because of pandemic concerns. And we have the governor's state of the state coming up, I think, next week. So we'll get some insights into what her priorities are, although she's already said it's going to be investing in clean water, education, and jobs, which, you know, are rather broad categories. But, you know, just as she said in response to a question Rick Coates asked her last week at our meeting, the basics, the fundamentals. So, yeah, so I think in the next couple of weeks, I think it'll become clearer exactly what the process is going to be for the legislature to work through spending these ARPA and infrastructure dollars. And then, of course, just the whole process of putting together the state budget, passing in the legislature this year is going to be underway. So lots of money available, lots of opportunity. And I'm sort of, as I said, sort of hoping that this strategy that we're helping to fund, inviting people to make their, you know, offer their suggestions about priorities, and then doing some kind of matchmaking with these funding streams is going to increase the likelihood that we're going to secure additional dollars for Northwest Lower Michigan. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about that, but that's kind of where I see things as of this morning.
Questions? Thoughts? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for that update. Appreciate it. And one other thing under other business, I still owe everybody a letter for us to sign collaboratively for Leelanau. And Gina, where are you? Yeah, Gina's on the phone. I apologize. Am I too late in getting that out for everybody, or are we still okay if I work on that maybe over this weekend?
Yeah, I think that's great, Ginger. I don't think it's too late at all. There, as far as I know, Leelanau County, the commissioners were having, oh boy, I think at least one more meeting just to hear testimony from the people who submitted proposals. Taylor might know the date of that. I think you mentioned it last time when we spoke, Taylor, but it may yet be coming up. So I don't think it's too late for them to hear it all.
Cool. Thank you, Taylor. Any thoughts?
Yeah, the next meeting is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Thanks.
The next meeting is on the 31st.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will get that done, you guys, this weekend and get it out for signatures then. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, does anyone else have anything else? Gosh, are we efficient or what? It's not even 20 after. I am stoked. I love meetings like this. This is good. Anything else?
Oh, you know,
No?
one other thing, I think I said this last time, Ginger, but I'll just say it again. So the spreadsheet that this group put together on potential quote unquote shovel ready projects with some detail on budgets and things like that. That was, you did share that with public sector consultants. So that is in the mix as we're sort of assembling the priority. So that's good news. I think the work that this group has done is going to be incorporated into this broader project.
Awesome. Thank you for
Good.
sharing that. Yay. Okay. All right. We'll keep you guys posted. Do we want to meet again next week? Or maybe put it on hold and see if anything else new develops and just kind of keep it as a placeholder on our calendars, and we'll let you know if we've got some new news to share. Would that be okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, wonderful. Well, in the meantime, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe and warm, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.